Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Simulation Sunday community live stream. Uh, so we find ourselves in the second, or past our first week of October, heading into our second week, and Halloween is almost upon us. So I'm just going to go over really quickly with the Halloween party that I've announced that I do every year for the game. Um, So some quick little details. You can find it on the posts for this channel, and I even took a few screenshots so you can kind of put that together if you want and kind of see it for yourself. But I also have it posted on the forums. So I do a DCUO Halloween party every year. This year we will have 5 different contests. So it'll be really cool. We'd be happy to have you guys if you want to go. It will be not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday. So the 26th of this month. And so we'll just be having costume contests and whatnot, and we'll be meeting in the Halloween base that I have. Beforehand, chatting for a little bit. We'll all be in like a DCUO chat that I'll make for the party, whatnot. So it'll be Sunday the 26th, and it will be 6 o'clock Pacific time. If you're on the East Coast like me, then it'll be 9 o'clock at night. But something to look into. I'll kind of let you see all the full details on the post or in the forums. You'll see it in the Gotham section. So go ahead and check that out if you're interested. Let's go ahead and start looking at some styles here. Let me look at chat here real quick. I've got Chosen. Welcome, Chosen. Welcome to chat. Count. Welcome to chat. Chosen says, I'm just curious, but what styles would work for a custom Absolute Universe style on DCUO? It seems like either it's got to have. It seems like it either has to have like really outrageous tech, or it's got to have a lot of spikes, or you have to have a lot of like a very big form, like a muscly form. But it looks like the way the Absolute goes is that it's very grotesque, or very out there, very abstract versions of the characters. Like you kind of see Martian Manhunter, he's very abstract. You see the Joker doesn't even look like the Joker. He just looks like this weird like clown monster. So it's very grotesque, and it's the most abstract version of the characters, I feel. So anything that makes them feel abstract would probably be at home in the Absolute Universe. Count says, "Hey, iconic, happy Halloween! I gave my Red Lantern Carney Heisenberg a new look. Great to hear that. I always love Red Lanterns. I mean, I am one, so I'm a little biased there, but there you are. And then I have L. Welcome to chat. So let's go ahead and get right into this. And I have Bobby Lewis saying, "Can you show my style, please?" This looks very familiar, and it is very nice. Uh, this is very reminiscent of the Scarecrow style I made on my channel, but I like that they changed it up a little bit. They put an actual hairstyle on, and they use the. I'm trying to think of what headpiece that is. I know it's the alternate version of Zatanna. I ended up using this headpiece on another style, but yeah, it's a very nice head style. I like it. It's got a very arcane, wizardly feel to it. So very nice. Yeah, very nice. Trying to think what else here. We got SpongeBob over here. I kind of like. Let me see, SpongeBob. Do they have a face on the style? I want to see a face on the style. No, they didn't do a face. They do SpongeBob. They should have done a face, like a smiley face on the style. This was such a missed opportunity. Such a missed opportunity. Yeah, Bobby Lou said mystical magician was head style. Yeah, that sounds about right. Um, for me, I can look at most of them and I know where they come from. Sometimes I can't remember the name, but most of them I know exactly where they are in the style list. But when it comes to the names, sometimes they elude me. So there you go. Mystical Magician's the head style. But yeah, on SpongeBob guy, I kind of like the idea of it, but he's missing the rest of the style. He's missing the. I think if they use the glossy material on this chest style, put some shoulders and make them white, make them look like sleeves, and then I probably would have used the belt, the Condiment King belt. I would have used that for him, and because it would have the spatula on it, and then I think you can use an emblem that has like a face on it. I think you would have had a pretty good SpongeBob with that. No, that's not witchy. What he was wearing wasn't witchy. He told me correctly. It was mystical magician. So let me show you here. What he was wearing was, if I can speed run to it right here. Mystical magician right here. That's what he was wearing. See how it like curls down? Where if you're wearing the witchy one, it looks like that. Totally different. Yeah. I knew it wasn't witchy. It didn't make sense. And then we have Lord Inuyasha over here. So he's got the nice wings on the character. Very nice. Then we've got Razor Beyond Hope. Let's see, Razor Beyond Hope. I like the glowing material goes well with this because it still shows the outline of the character, like the outline of like the bones or the outline of the bones on the skin. That's not bad. And then I thought I saw somebody else over here. I think their name was like Techno Mage or something. Maybe they're not here anymore, but I just want to do a scan just in case. Ah, what a missed opportunity. Alright. We'll do Puffy over here. Yeah. So this is the Scarecrow headpiece with the new face style. It was crazy how the face style actually was like a whole like headpiece on its own, and then you just literally put the hat style on top, and you're good to go, right? Yeah. So there you are. Trying to see what else we have. Wesley over here. Let's see what they got going on. It's not bad. So this looks like the Scream character. And then we have Reconcile over here. It looks like he's got. Looks like he's got. I want to say. I think it's Gogeta. I could be wrong. It could be Vegeta. I always get their outfits mixed up. I think it's. I think it's Gogeta, because I think he was wearing the style in the Broly movie. I liked it. Yeah, I think it's Gogeta Blue. I'm pretty sure. And then we have I Barry Allen. So he's of course trying to think of the character he was cosplaying. I know because they had him in Injustice. I'm trying to think. Impulse. Impulse. That's what it. Impulse. All right, and then we have Zeus over here. I mean, it doesn't look like he's wearing a face style. I mean, it's supposed to be, I guess, like a younger Zeus. But man, I mean, I maybe would have had like a beard or something to that. I like how the hair looks like it's like braided though. It's like very like ancient, Olympian. I wish we had like braided beards to it match, but Jolly Beard is all we got. I'm surprised they didn't make anything else besides the Jolly Beard. I would have figured they'd make at least a few more. maybe the person who made it's not there anymore, so maybe it's like lost tech where they'd have to try to figure out that whole thing again. Ah, oh, look at that Doom pig. He's finally got his pig mask on. Very nice. I'm trying to think of what event that comes from, but I know it comes from an event. I think it's from this event. Yeah, it's from this event. Yeah. Yeah, very nice. Doom pig. Here. Yeah, yeah, impulse. Yep. Yeah, since he's got his legit pig mask, we'll do that. But yeah, I know that we've looked at them at in one of the past live streams, and they knew that they were missing the pig mask. They're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna get it when it comes around," and look at it. Now they finally got it. I mean, now at this point, he doesn't even really look like a pig. He looks like a boar with the tusks coming out on the side. But I like it anyway. It's funny. Doom pig. I think it's got a better ring to it though as Doom pig. And then we have Hades over here. Very nice. Now let's do a clip it. All right. And we have El Capitan. He says, did anyone try to make a Professor Pig? I'm sure there's somebody that has, but I haven't personally seen them, so I don't know. I think that's a good question. We have someone near here called Kent. So it's a Superman character and their Shield character. I find that very interesting. The colors are good. The color grading on that was good. Not bad. I think the yellow was a little too gold, but everything else was pretty like spot on. I think the colors weren't like too vibrant. They had a good mix. And let's see. Try to see if I. Okay, so we got Canon event over there. I'll see him. Take a look at him real quick. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get a little bit of altitude so I can get a better look at some styles. So it looks like a Superman character. He's probably still working on it. So we've got Razorburn over here. I looked at them earlier. They're using the crack source chroma. If I could find them here. Oh, we got Squidward. I gotta check this person out. Ah, that doesn't look like Squidward. You're throwing me for a loop now. I just saw that. I was like, okay, let me just quickly look at that. Not Squidward. I've seen some people do handsome Squidward in the game. It's pretty funny. So he's doing like a scarecrow, but with like the cracked source chroma. I'm trying to see what else we have. Davnir. Let's see. So it looks like sort of like an Olympian style, more or less. Let's see. We've got Bartholomew. Let's take a look at them. So they're still working on that. They're probably making that one Spider-Man that has like the vest. And then we have Captain Atom. Let's take a look at them here real quick. So it's not bad. The hand style I would recommend for them would probably be the miraculous for the hands, and I see that they're already using miraculous for the feet. Um, but yeah, it's not bad. The emblem's a good choice, of course. Um, I would try to find a better material to match the skin with. If you make the skin a little bit brighter, you could probably have it match really well with the bleed material, but you'll have to kind of like get a good tone between the two to where they match pretty well. But I think bleed is easily the easier one to come across with to figure out a color. Let's see here. And for like extra bling for that same style sort of idea, I ended up using the red and blue phoenix for my um, for my character. Let's see. We got PPZ over here. This looks like a Five Nights at Freddy's style. And it is. There you go. Very nice style. I like how they use the oversized shoulder to make it look like that he's missing a shoulder. I like that. Chest style is obviously a good choice for that. Um, let's see here. We got Hera over here. I like the back piece. I like how it it has like two or three different colors in it, and it just hangs really nice. I think this is one even though it's kind of like has like that shredded appearance like on the lower like bottom side. I still feel like it. Yeah, like even with that, see you even have like the different material on it. It still looks really nice. Like it hangs really well. I think that's just how it places is really nice. It's not oversized. It kind of just sleekly goes down the center of the character's back. Um, let's see. And then we have Poseidon over here. I'm not crazy about the face style. I know they're trying to go for a beard. I don't know about that, but I like the Phoenix material on it. It's not bad. The material, like the blue material, um, the blue disruption, that's not bad either. Let's see here, and then we got Zodiaco. Zodiaco. Let's see here. So I like the deep purple with like the silver. That's nice. Yeah, very nice. Let's see. We got we got Goda over here. Let's take a look at them. So I like this little wizard style. Yeah, I like that. Very nice. Yeah, I like the aesthetic of that. Very nice. All right. Let's see, and then we have uh Gatsia over there. It has like a vampiric feel to it, but then they're like they have touches of green in there. You got the phoenix on there, and I like the biohazard like tubes and stuff coming from it. That's not bad. I kind of wish they had like a I don't know like a green smoke or maybe like a cosmic material or something. But I guess the hand materials are okay. Let me see here. Al Capitan says, out of curiosity, which elite feat gave you the most trouble to complete? Um, to be honest, I don't think that there's really been a lot recently that have given me any real trouble. Um, because elite feats are easy because a lot of elite content as of recent has been very easy. So there aren't really any elite feats that I've found very hard. Um, the only feat that I really had trouble with recently was the 12k zombie feat, and then and then we found the workaround. Um, so that's basically kind of where I'm coming from on that. So it's for me, it's usually the grindy feats where they're trying to do like a massive grind to keep people busy for a couple months. Those are often the feats that give me the most trouble. It just depends on the quantities. But I went in solo to the. I wanted it easy, so I didn't do anything crazy. But I did the casual, book the black and private queued and went in there. And I just did that to grind out the orange lanterns. That feat goes up to that feat goes up to 720 orange lanterns. It's called the feat's called Orange Crush. Like this is what I have left for my feats. So I just need the two style sets. I need to finally rank my face and waist piece to 40, and then here's like the feat. This is when you got both of them done. But let me see here. Right here, Orange Crush. There you go. So I grinded out 7 out of 20, and the treasure like orange lanterns. I forget the rest of their name, but they're the treasure whatevers. They don't contribute to the feat. It's only the other regular constructs that do. So for me, that was kind of like the most grindy sort of stuff. Um, Pub says, iconic. Are you able to host bounty runs again? It's difficult to find groups sometimes. Um, Maybe I just gotta find a day or two where it might work. Um, I know that I'll be having some more time off in another week or so, obviously because of like Halloween and whatnot. So maybe the Wednesday either following after the party or maybe like a Tuesday the week before I'll probably do something, but I don't want to promise anything and then like let somebody down if I'm not able to do it. So I don't want to overpromise, but we'll see. Um, uh, and Unseen says, "Do you have any glossy material for sale?" I'm afraid I do not. I would check on the broker and see what they're going for. Um, but that's probably what I would recommend is to look on the broker. Trying to think what else I was gonna say. Um, Oh yeah, I knew glossy was going to be a big thing, so I went all in on four characters and make sure that I got glossy. So I feel you because it's going to be much harder to get it now, just because the booster bundle that was offering it no longer exists. So it would have to be a return style. Um, and then have El Capitan saying, "Oh dang, nice! You almost fully completed." Yes, so let me take a look here. So I'm at 152 um for my waist, and then I'm at 151 200 for my experience. So let me go into my Fortify menu. Okay, so they're up further. So, this is how far I am. I just need to go. So I basically just need like another 48 more between, so 48 in total, and I can get both of them up, and then all I'd need is like the black bile. I already got all the unliving essence, so it'd just be black biles, and then I'd be good to go. So that's currently kind of like what I'm looking at in terms of like leveling them up. So, I'll just run my four characters, buy some off the broker, buy some off the vendor, and then kind of call it a day when I get it. Um, but yeah, for the most part, that's pretty much where I am with that. And then just the two suits will be easy for the most part. It'll just be grinding, marks over time, kind of passively, and just sitting back. Because if I get a triple week, then there or a double week, then I'm fine for the most part. Um, Pup says, I noticed you were hosting Halloween style contests. Any details on the themes this year? Yes. So I don't have anything to pull up here right now, but if you look at the post on the channel, you'll see that there are 5 different themes. So the first set of contests. So when you see like a contest and it has three different logos over it, or 2 different logos, each logo represents a contest. So there'll be a Marvel contest, a DC contest, and a Spooky Halloween contest. That will have more substantial rewards to it. Each placing on there represents 3 contests. So 3 winners of first, 3 winners of the second place, and 3 winners of the third place for each contest. And then under that, there'll be like the second set of contests, which are just basically more or less like in-game items, but they're still pretty nice. Um, which is of course like the heroic and the villainous contests. So Marvel, DC, Spooky, villainous, and heroic contests. So 5 different contests. Obviously, the villainous and heroic, that's kind of up to your interpretation. Maybe it's like the style of your character or what you imagine, a villain or a hero to look like, depending on the contest. But that's kind of what I'm looking at is 5 contests. The first set, with Marvel, DC, and Spooky has more substantial rewards. The second set of contests, which is heroic and villainous, more or less just like in-game items. But still pretty nice. Yeah. So it'll be on the 26th of this coming month at 6 p.m. Pacific time. If you're Eastern time, it's 9 p.m. And if you're in the middle, well, then you can kind of calculate when that's going to happen, obviously, right? I'm sure there's lots of tools out there to help you kind of hone in on the time for your specific time zone. El Capitan says, I bet the Toon Shaded would be as popular if it wasn't color locked. I don't know what they were thinking when they did that. I've talked about that for like 2 live streams. So I'm not going to say too much because I've already said a lot on it. But I think at a certain point it was intentional to be able to fill out the bundles and fill out, pad out their bundles so it looks like there's a lot of things going on. Obviously, if you have a bunch of color locked versions, that's going to have a more robust bundle. If you only have one material that can be color locked, that could be color like tinted, then obviously you don't have 4 other things to put in there, right? So you kind of have to pad it out with something else, and their choice was to just make color locked versions of the chroma. I don't think it was a great choice, but I don't work at DC. I don't work at Daybreak. I don't work at Dimensional Ink, so it's not my choice to tell them what they can and can't do. All I can do is be the customer and give them constructive criticism. When they take onto it, that's great. If they don't, then it's not so great. But they're kind of independent in how they want to run things. But I think one of the good things he did lately was when they changed the solo. It was a 15-minute solo. It was a lot of busy work. There were 2 bosses that only existed just because of the story. So it gave no rewards to the player. It wasted your time. You couldn't skip the cutscenes. And then there's a feat on top of it that requires you to kill an astronomical amount of ads when you get to a certain point. And then, they either A, want you to spam it like crazy to get it over, like 60 runs, or they expect you to do it over 60 runs over a very extended period of time to keep you busy for that daily login. So either way, it was very, in my opinion, it was overkill. And they came back and they were like, yeah, we agree. And they changed it. They knocked like almost half of the solo off. And they kind of just brought you right in at the very end. And, so that's easier to get to the White Lantern part. So it's easier to spam. And so it's easier to kind of grind that out. So It's not as quick as what I showed in the video because that obviously doesn't exist anymore. So in the subtitles, I had to like edit that to let people know, hey, this doesn't work like this anymore. Um, but it's better. It's better than what it was. So a win is a win in this situation. Um, Let me see here. Little Red says, "Would you do a video of Arkham Knight Scarecrow?" I don't know. I'd have to look at the character. Um, Funny enough, you would think I would, but I haven't really played any of the Arkham games. I have seen a lot of gameplay of it. I just never really got into that early on, so this game was the pool that got me in. Because there was a lot of customization. Arkham Knight has that to a degree, but not at the same level as this. And this was kind of like an MMO, so it was live, so I kind of like that aspect of it as well. So I never really got into Arkham Knight, but I did kind of like some of the custom skins that they would have. And they had some modders as well, and that was kind of cool. But never really. So I had to take a look at that and see if there's anything feasible for that character in this game. Um, Okay, Pretend says contest. Will the rewards be like 100 mil for first place? I would encourage you to take a look at the screenshots that are in my community posts. I made it really simple. You can go right in there and see the screenshots that I did of my post on the DCUO forums. I encourage you to check that out, and you can see full details there. And then OK Pretend says, okay, yeah, makes sense. Yep. So I made it very simple, so you can kind of just take a look and see what is being offered for rewards. And just a little disclaimer there. Every time when I do these Halloween contests every year, I always reward the day after because I don't know, like with the rewards that I'm giving out, I don't know who's gonna win them and what platform they're on. So I always have to go out and buy these specific rewards the day after. So so people always, they win what they want or win what they get that night, and then it's usually either the next day or the day after. Usually I get it within the next day because I really don't have problems with getting what I'm, supposed to get. Um, but you never know, so I always give myself a little buffer day just in case. But all in all, I usually reward everybody's rewards the day after in the in-game mail. So if you win anything during the event, keep an eye on your mail for the next day, so you can go ahead and so you can go ahead and get it when you log in or whatnot. But of course, like we'll tell you when you win, or so it won't be like a surprise. Like you'll know it's coming in the mail for the next day. Let's see, we got Cheater here with his Scarecrow, with like a nice runic skin to it. Alright, and then we've got Batman 1980, but it doesn't look like Batman. Let's see. Yeah, Cable from X-Men. I don't, you know what? I think the shoulder piece is still better. Yeah, because I was thinking of like the new shoulder piece, but it kind of, how do I say it? It's like when it comes to different shirt styles, like look at this shirt style. Let me take like the back off. If I were to use the new shoulder from the Absolute Amazon, see how high up that looks? See how extremely, see where like it comes off the shoulder by like a massive amount? To me, I'm like I kind of feel like it could have been curved over a little more and maybe set down a little lower. But like I guess it's very specific with like the comics, so they don't want to like, but it just doesn't very mesh well with other styles unless they've got like a really tall like shoulder line or something. That's what I've noticed with that. So like even with like a cyborg Superman, I would still use the bionic shoulders because that other one just reaches way too high. It just kind of looks ridiculous. That's where with me it's like technically accurate versus it look good versus it looking good. It's a very fine line. So I try to find something that looks good and is somewhat accurate. But I won't just throw something on just because it's accurate, because oftentimes when you end up throwing everything finally together, it still looks really poor. Let me see here. We got Two Face Harvey. All he has to get is just the Oh, I see what he's doing. He's using this head style for it because if he uses a Two-Face one, then he has to find a glove for this side. Where at this one, it could at least look like it's like his acid burn hand or whatnot, you know. All right. We got Azula over here, and then I'm gonna check out this Hera again because I think they made another style with it. Azula, I was looking for. They should be closer, so they should be up right here. So yeah, I like a lot of the rest of like the Amazon style. I especially like the hand style, how it's just literally one bracer on one side. I have yet to find something really good to work with that, but I'll figure something out eventually. But I do like that. I do like how that looks. We got Apocalypto Sin. If I could just find them, there we go. So this is the Scarecrow style I made on one of my videos, and it looks like they made it pretty good. The only thing is the feet are a little different, but that's not too crazy. That's not too bad. Otherwise, well done on throwing that together. All right. And then we've got Hera over here. So I like this version of the character. I like the different blues against the green. I think that's some nice color shading, and then of course you have like the more of like the grass green on the bottom, and then you got it on the ever so slightly on the bracelets. So they're using the burnished bronze also on the bracelets. So yeah, not bad at all. I kind of like that. I like the different color like blues and greens together. It's a really nice matchup. And then we've got Real Patience over here. And look at that. Look at that. They have done something that the devs are not. They've done something that has been impossible for the devs this time around. That is, they actually got the hair color somewhat right. So I made a post on this. It reminds me of this. I made a post on the forums about how they got Kyle Rayner's hair wrong for the new NPC. Uh, at almost every time in the comics, he has dark black hair, or like almost like a faded black color hair. And this is the only time I've seen him in game where he actually has brown hair. He actually looks more like Hal Jordan than Kyle Rayner. I thought that was hilarious. Little Red says, "True. I only play a little bit of the Batman Arkham Knight game." Yeah, there you go. Um, but yeah, so I thought that was hilarious to see that. And I was like, anybody want to kind of fix that? Because I said I know that's not comic book accurate, right? And I mean, and I did like a collage of like I don't know, like 10 different versions of the character, and they're all like dark hair. I'm like, so I think maybe it was a mistake or something that slipped by both them and DC, because I would have figured somebody from DC would have picked up on that, but I guess not. Um, I don't know who was reviewing that, but I don't know who they were looking at. I think they think that they were. I think they thought they were looking at a model of Hal Jordan instead, and nobody told them to look and that it was actually Kyle Rayner. All right, so we got Red Lantern there. Trying to see. We've got. Let's look at Brighton Lantern. Brighton Lantern. There we go. Nice shaded comic. Sean, welcome to chat. Sean says, I didn't know you did lives. Shout out to Iconic, him and Multiverse are goats. Love Iconic's work. Thank you so much, bud. Yeah, I do lives just about every Sunday. Not always. There's a few bare spots here and there where I'm not able to do it. But for the most part, yeah, almost every Sunday, I get to come on here and hang out with everyone. All right, we have Delicious Evil over here. Let's take a look at them. I like the emblem. The emblem's not bad, and like the material for the hair, hat, and cape aren't bad either. That's pretty good. Yeah. All right. I think they're using the Halloween chroma if I remember right. Then we have Langston Cross over here. Looks like a lot of a cybernetic style. Langston Cross. There we go. I was gonna go right over it. So they're using like they're using the silver material. They're using the dark sludge chroma. Yeah. So dark sludge and then silver material. Dark sludge is nice. The black on there is nice. Um, the part where it has like the flowing like sludge part, I'm not crazy about it, but I get it. It's part of the material. So, that kind of comes with the territory. Very nice. The sword is very nice for a null. Yeah, very nice. Works very well with the character. Uh, Braun Bradley says, "How do I send you money?" I don't think there's an option on here for that. I haven't really went into options like that. Um, I certainly do have those options at my disposal, but um, I haven't really turned anything like that on. I didn't really think that anybody would want to do anything like that anyway. I thought I don't know. I thought for myself it was a little much. Um, you know, but yeah, I don't have anything like that on with the channel. I haven't done like memberships or anything. I don't know if I necessarily want to go in that direction right now. Um, maybe in the future if I have like extra things that I want to throw out that I can, do for members. But right now, I'm keeping it small. The channel is monetized, but it's like to the bare minimum, which nobody that's actually watching the channel will be like impacted by it in any way than what it was before. So, the only difference is that the ads that they see before the stream, I actually get paid a little bit for them now. Um, otherwise there is no difference in their viewing, in their viewing experience. Even with my longer videos, I don't do mid-roll ads, so you'll never see a mid-roll ad that'll interrupt your viewing experience on my channel. I'm not going to do that. I tried it on one video, and for me, even to check out my video, it was kind of driving me nuts trying to just view my own video to kind of like check things out and just review it. To where I was like, no, I don't want to. It was too much. I didn't like it even as a viewer. So I was like, if I don't like it, I can only imagine what viewers will think and how they won't like it. So, if I don't like it, why should I have someone else have to like it? That's how I saw it. So, yeah, the only difference is just the ads that play before that used to anyway, that always did. I get a little bit of a cut from them now. That's all. So, it shouldn't change for anyone else. It shouldn't change, anyone else's viewing experience, which I'm glad to say, because usually, it's usually like a lot of, well, that's a pickup gone wrong. Usually, it's like to the detriment of the viewer that people like start to go like ad crazy, and I don't like that. I'm not really in favor of that. So, I just get a little bit of money for my troubles now. It's not a ton, but it doesn't affect the viewer experience at all. Um, Little Red says, "Have you seen that Wolverine game? It looked good." I haven't seen it. I'll have to check it out. Uh, Sean says, I got you, just wanted to show my appreciation. All good though, I understand. Yeah, maybe in the future. I just thought it was a little much at this point, and I don't want it to seem like, that I'm trying to like monetize my viewers, even though like like the appreciation and all that, people want to show that's great and all, but I don't want to feel like I'm monetizing my viewers. Like when it comes to like me putting out little videos and getting little something off the ad revenue, that's not bad for me. I agree with that, but anything else beyond that, I'm not crazy about that. Like you won't see me like selling merch or anything. I'm not kind of for this sort of stuff, or at least not at this point. LK Pretend says, "How do you stay motivated to keep playing without getting burnt out?" It's easy. You just don't. You don't play. You don't. Here's how I see it. If you don't feel fun at the moment that you're playing, well, obviously, like don't be in a group with like a raid and then you log out, obviously. But like if you're not in something and it's not fun for you and you're not doing anything at the moment, log out. Find something else to do. That's what I do. Because I feel like a lot of people feel like they have to stay on and they have to do something and they have to whatever. This may be an unpopular opinion, but when it comes to like buyouts, most of the time I'll just buy them out because I don't want to be on the game and feel like I have to go ahead and log in every day and do it. But from a standpoint of, maybe you can't buy it out. Maybe you have to do the 20 days or whatever. Like I understand. Like I know not everybody can do that. But for me, that kind of saves me a little bit of sanity where if I miss a day or two on the game, I'm not worried about it. I'd rather push that time somewhere else. So, I'll log in, get my weeklies done. So most of the time I'll come onto the game for like an hour. Usually somebody will hit me up, we'll run something, this and that. Maybe I'll log off and be on for another hour at another, couple hours later, if somebody goes ahead and lets me know over like Discord. But for the most part, I really try to minimize the burnout. So if I'm not actively being productive on the game with doing something fun for myself, then I'm not going to be on. That's how I kind of rationalize it. So I'll go on, do my stabilizer real quick, like put stuff on the broker on my characters and swap the money over to my main every so often. That's what I'll do. I don't know. I'm not one of those people that digs in and does like, trying to do my alerts every day, my dailies every day. I don't do that. I don't do that. I would get massive burnout if I did that. And yeah. So I know it's not feasible for everybody. A lot of people need to come in and do that sort of a thing, but I'd rather grind weeklies across alts and get my stuff, once a week than to do dailies and alerts all the time. Um, I would just be experiencing burnout if I did that. So I don't. And that's how I've been able to stick around with this game almost 13 years, and I'm still here, no breaks, no nothing. Because I feel like if you give yourself enough space and you do other things, and if the game's not being well worth it to you in the moment, then okay, go ahead and step away and do something else for the day, find something else to do, uh, you know. So that's how I kind of do it. So and then I work, so that kind of helps too, right? So that kind of helps me keep myself busy, keep the bills paid, whatnot. So um, I do other things. Sorry, it was such a lengthy reply, but that's kind of how I do it. I don't get into this grind. I need to do this. I need to do this. I need to do this. Because guess what? I don't want to work, another job. I just want to go ahead and come on here and play what's fun and cherry pick what I want to do. And kind of like do my feats over time. That's kind of fun for me. Pup says the only thing I've bought out was the Batman emblem. It gets tiring running every event, cleaning up the dailies. Yeah, that like the only time I actually run the dailies is if I need like things up front in a new DLC. Like the first week it was out, I was I had some time off, so that's why I was running some dailies and stuff. But if I'm like working during like the regular work week, I'm not doing dailies. I'm coming in for fun because it's like if I have some time off, it's like okay, I can kind of seriously grind and do a couple hours whatever because there's actually things to do. But once that starts to really cool off and you go back to work and you have other things you have to go ahead and do, then it's like, okay, I'm not going to bother with dailies. I'm not going to do all this other fluff because that's not fun. I don't want, it's just not worth it to me. Um, and I have plenty of, I would rather spend replay badges on the Elite raid and get a lot of my stuff from there. I have a lot of people that ask me to run Elite raids, and some of them, I definitely go and I try to spam it with them. But for me, that's more fun. You get the higher difficulty, you get better rewards. You're doing something that you like to do with people that you like to run with. So for me, that's kind of a no-brainer. But yeah, it's yeah, that's just kind of how I view it. Um, uh, Sean says, ACL guys, at least he don't have enough compared to watchers. Click please. um, alrighty, let me see here. So we got a dark multiversal Batman over here. I'm going to try to clean up this phase here real quick. Dark multiversal Batman. I'm trying to clean this phase up so I can drop down a few. Make sure I'm seeing everybody. I kind of like the Hush Batman over here. I know this isn't correct to the character in the comics that usually has this headpiece, but in this case it don't matter. It's an original character and I like it. I like how he tried to keep like the art, like the leg wraps on here, the ones on here as well. You got the arm wraps, you got the head wrap. So I kind of like it, and it's like a spray painted like bat symbol on his chest piece. Like it's kind of like makeshift. Um, what is that? Hulk Banner of War. Is this? I'm trying to think of the name for the character, but this is the. Let's see here. Hulk Banner of War. So this is. I don't know the name of the character, so forgive me, but this is the Banner that is controlled by. This is the Hulk that is controlled by Banner. And it's like he's like in the top of like his head basically, so it's like the Banner in his mind is like he's found a way to isolate the Hulk, and he has like a whole control room to where he controls the Hulk and the power levels and how high he goes and whatnot. And I've heard this is a really formidable like Hulk version. I thought that was really cool. um, Sean says, go to go, salutes to you, iconic, be well. uh, Thank you, man. I appreciate you popping in to the chat. I'll talk to you later, I'm sure, at some point. We got Chameleon over here. So he's doing like his version of Punisher. I like the boots. The gloves aren't bad either. I'd probably use the Red Lantern ones, the Vestments of Rage, but these aren't bad either. They're okay. I like the little skull insignias on the chest piece with like the yeah, they should do more clasps like that. That's kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, a lot of you wouldn't believe how many of the old shirt styles and clothes styles had a lot of detail like etched into them. Like, not to say that the new stuff doesn't have it, but man, some of the old stuff, they're gems. People like pass over them. Okay, I have no idea who this is, but it's cool style. I just don't know who this is, but it looks good. Very nice. And then we got a soldier over here. So I had a friend of mine that was. This reminds me of one of my league mates was telling me, he was like, "Hey, you said you were gonna go ahead and watch Thunderbolts," and I was like, "Yeah, I haven't watched that yet." I said I haven't had the time, whatever, and I was like, "Well, I'm not doing anything here right now, so I'm like, I'll go ahead and watch that now." It's kind of at night, whatever. So I was like, "Okay, I'll do that." Because he was like, because he wanted to talk about it, and and I hadn't watched it, so I couldn't really weigh in on it. And then I went ahead and watched it, but And you know, and kind of he kind of asked if like my opinion on it had really changed. It was an okay movie. It just wasn't my cup of tea for a movie. But but yeah, I did watch the Thunderbolts movie finally. Um, it it was a lot of like psychological action than it actually was like action, like fighting action. Um, I know you have like the famous scene of like him kind of like, you know, 1v, I don't know, 1v6ing all of them or something like that. But I just, that was it. That was all that there was. And then you know, of course, you know, they have like them kind of like early on having little like bouts with each other, but nothing with like, I don't know. I feel like he could have had more screen time in actually like fighting, and I feel like I think I kind of wish the dark version of the Void was a lot more active in like an action scene, because I just feel like there wasn't much going on with that character. It's kind of like he just put his hand up and people disappeared into the void. I kind of feel like you could have done that and kind of had some more action scenes with like the actual superheroes. Um, El Capitan says hypothetically, if you were to add a new iconic ability to DCUO, which character would you inspire it, and what would you do? That's a really good question. Now I got to really think on that. Now I've actually got to use some of my brain power here and actually think about that. That's a very good question. Uh, I got nothing at the moment, but if I figure something out, I'll let you know. I should have something at the end of this stream. How about that? Um, Pup says, yeah, it was kind of a nothing burger. Good night, Sean. You have a good one, man. He says, oh, really quick, I want to see your version of no. Um, he's the new Black Hulk. Not sure you did him. No, I have not seen that, so I'll have to check that out. Version of Null. He's new version of Black Hulk. Okay. Um, no, I haven't seen that. I'd have to look that up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead, swap down phases. Let me see here. So we've got Red Cosmic Spider here. Looks like he's kind of having like a Superboy Prime going on here. And we have Kaya Vano. I like the green eyes and like the green accessory. That's a good contrast to like the purple. And I think the hair is a nice color to contrast the green. Like blues, like a sea blue always goes good with like a very bright green. That's like one of the fundamental things that people usually kind of like gravitate toward. So that's not bad. We got Marvel's Chameleon. Is this the same character? I don't know. I don't know if it is or not. It kind of looks like a Wolverine suit. We've got the Black Bat. Or no, let's look at Terry McGinnis. I haven't seen him before. Oh, he's already gone, so we're gonna look at the Black Bat then. Let's see. The Black Bat 52. So he's still working on his style. So I'll look at the Dark Knight here, and then I think, okay, and then I think I'll drop down another one. Let's see. Alrighty, alright. You got Holy Ghost over here. Red Lantern. Alright, one more phase. If I can go up high enough. Yeah, it says only 9. I don't think there's going to be anyone over here, to be honest. No, there isn't. Alright. So I'm going to jump back up to the first phase, and then I think we can call it a stream. I'll probably look at another 2-3 styles over there, and then I'll call it. Let's see if we can get over there. We got it? Yes, we did. Look at that. Alright. Who have I not seen before? We have Escobar over here. Let me see. He should be closer. I think I'm just looking over his name. Okay, so this is kind of like the Scarecrow. I kind of like the tune shaded material on the chest style. And I like how they have like a texture on the pants. That looks like it's probably the Christmas material that's on there. Christmas material on the prisoner pants to give it that appearance. And then we have I'm not gonna pronounce that, but you guys see the name. I like the diamond material on there. In the cosmic, that's not bad. Shaded comic as well. Alrighty, and one more. I'm looking at the Hal Jordan, but I want to see a style I haven't seen before. Somebody that hasn't been here before. Alright, so we got Doctor over here. Okay, so here's his Dr. Fate. Alright, very nice. Well, I appreciate you all for hanging out, and I will see you all in the next one. Laters.